Have you ever wondered why life feels like a series of storms, one after the other? Why the moments of peace seem so fleeting and hardship so recurring? Maybe you've questioned, why me? Or silently wept in the darkness of your room, wondering when life will finally get easier. But what if I told you that life was never designed to be easy? What if I said adversity is not your enemy, but your most loyal teacher? Let me take you on a journey that will transform the way you see your struggles, your pain, your setbacks. Because beyond every adversity, there lies a hidden curriculum designed specifically for your growth, your resilience, and your awakening. Adversity, when it knocks on the door of your life, doesn't just bring chaos. It carries a mirror so brutally honest that many of us dare not look directly into it. But life has a peculiar way of ensuring that we do. It corners us, strips us of our defenses, and leaves us face to face with our naked truths. Every hardship, every betrayal, every sleepless night whispers a question in your ear. Who are you? Really? Not the role you play in society, not the persona you've curated for the world, but who are you beneath all that? In the comfort of ease, we craft identities that are often delusions, facades that protect us from confronting the inadequacies and wounds we quietly carry. But adversity is ruthless in its honesty. It tears apart the scaffolding we've built around ourselves, leaving exposed the raw, bleeding parts we've hidden not just from the world, but from our own consciousness. When the storms of life lash against your spirit, they don't just test your strength. They reveal it. They pull out from within you that quiet, hidden resilience you forgot you possessed. And in those moments when everything seems to be crumbling, you meet yourself, perhaps for the very first time. You see your pain, your longing, your need for love, for recognition, for safety. And that is the birthplace of true transformation, when you stop pretending and start embracing every broken, imperfect, beautifully human part of yourself. In the same breath, adversity redefines the very essence of strength. So often, we associate strength with the ability to remain unaffected, to carry burdens without a flicker of pain showing on the surface. But that is not strength, that is suffocation. Real strength is when you can look yourself in the mirror, tears and all, and say, I am struggling, and that is okay. To be vulnerable is not a weakness. It is the most profound declaration of courage. Because to acknowledge your suffering is to step into the arena of healing. In relationships, this vulnerability creates bridges instead of walls. It allows people to see you, the real you, not the invincible figure you try to be, but the tender soul that longs for connection, for understanding. This is where intimacy is born, not in perfection but in shared humanity, where two souls recognize in each other the same battle scars and the same yearning for peace. Healing is a word we often misunderstand. We treat it like a destination, a checkpoint we must reach to declare ourselves whole, unbroken, untouched by the past. But the truth is, healing is not linear, and it is certainly not final. It is a lifelong companion, quietly walking beside us, sometimes holding our hand, sometimes pulling us back to places we thought we had long since left behind. When adversity wounds us, it leaves a trace, not as a punishment, but as a reminder that the process of healing is cyclical. Just when you think the ache has settled, life has a way of brushing against that tender spot again, stirring emotions you believed were buried. Yet this is not regression. It is a deeper invitation. An invitation to revisit those spaces within us with gentler eyes, with more compassion than the last time. When we share our lives with others, when we forge relationships, these echoes of old pain inevitably rise to the surface. It is not because love has failed, but because love, in its purest form, acts as a mirror reflecting back to us our unfinished work. And in that mirror, we are given the gift of self-awareness, the opportunity to heal in layers, to peel back each one with patience, understanding that no wound fully disappears, but can transform into wisdom, into empathy. The journey of healing is, therefore, not about erasure but about integration, welcoming each scar as a testament to survival, to evolution, to depth of character. And then there is the matter of control, a seduction we all fall prey to. The idea that if we plan enough, prepare enough, anticipate enough, we can shield ourselves from the unexpected cruelties of life. But adversity is the great equalizer. It reminds us that control is merely an illusion we cling to for comfort. Life unfolds not according to our designs, but according to its own mysterious rhythm. The sooner we relinquish the exhausting pursuit of control, the sooner we find peace, not in mastery over events, but in mastery over our responses to them. This humility breeds grace, not only within ourselves but in how we relate to others. When we stop expecting people to fit neatly into our expectations, when we allow them the freedom to be imperfect, to falter, to grow at their own pace, we create the conditions for true connection. Adversity humbles us, softens the rigid contours of our ego, and opens up a space where relationships can breathe, where love is no longer transactional but transformational. Adversity refines the eye with which we see the world. It teaches us that the heart, once bruised, begins to notice blessings it had previously overlooked. When life is smooth, when comfort wraps us in its temporary embrace, gratitude often becomes a distant, polite habit, something we express out of social courtesy rather than from the depths of our being. But when adversity has stripped us bare, when pain has hollowed spaces within us, even the smallest acts of kindness feel like lifelines. A morning where you wake without dread becomes a triumph. A meal shared with a loved one turns into a sacred ritual. A genuine smile, a word of encouragement, a fleeting moment of peace, these become treasures of immeasurable worth. This sharpened sense of gratitude is not a consolation prize for suffering. It is an awakening. It is life's way of whispering that beauty exists not in grand gestures but in the delicate, often invisible threads that stitch our days together. When we carry this lens of gratitude into our relationships, they transform. Conversations deepen because we are no longer rushing past them. Presence becomes the greatest gift we offer, and in that presence, connections flourish. Gratitude doesn't make the pain vanish, but it lends us the dignity to walk alongside it with grace, knowing that even amidst sorrow, life continues to offer reasons to smile. Through adversity, life also compels us to re-examine the very definition of success. Society teaches us to equate success with achievements, possessions, and applause. Yet, when hardship knocks on our door, these definitions feel hollow. Adversity quietly introduces us to a new truth. Success is not found in what we accumulate, but in what we become. The pain endured, the lessons learned, the empathy cultivated. These are the true markers of a life well lived. Purpose begins to emerge, often wrapped in the wisdom that suffering carves into our souls. We begin to see that our experiences, particularly the painful ones, are not just personal burdens to carry but gifts to share. Perhaps the insights drawn from your darkest nights could light the path for someone else still trapped in their own. And when relationships are guided by this purpose, not just a need for companionship but a desire to elevate one another, we move beyond the superficial layers of connection. We build bonds that are rooted in shared growth, in the collective pursuit of becoming better, kinder, wiser human beings. Adversity teaches us patience, but not the passive patience of waiting for storms to pass. It introduces us to a patience that is active, dynamic, and deeply engaged with the unfolding of life. This is the kind of patience that comes with trust in the rhythms of existence that we cannot always understand, in the timings that often appear cruel but later reveal themselves as necessary. It is in this space of trust that patience is born, not as a resignation but as a dignified endurance. When life wounds us, when betrayals, losses, and disappointments come, our first instinct is often to demand answers, to seek immediate closure, to force resolution. But adversity gently, sometimes painfully, teaches us that not all answers arrive when we want them to. Some truths mature like old trees, taking time to reveal their fruit. In relationships, this form of patience is a rare virtue. It allows us to hold space for others' growth without rushing them to become what we need them to be. It teaches us to see beyond the surface behaviors, to recognize that sometimes the ones we love are also battling their own hidden adversities. And in that recognition, we grant them the grace to falter, to stumble, to find their own way back to themselves. This is a patience anchored in love, a love that is spacious, generous, and liberating. Adversity, in its final and most profound gift, pushes us to forge an unbreakable relationship with ourselves. When the noise of the world quiets, when companionship thins, when the outer affirmations wane, what remains is the self. And if adversity has been used well, that self is no longer a stranger. It becomes a companion, wounded, yes, but also wise, imperfect, yet profoundly aware. This relationship with oneself is not about self-sufficiency in a prideful sense, but about an intimate understanding of one's worth, boundaries, and capacities. It is about knowing that even in solitude, you are complete, not because you lack needs, but because you've learned to meet them within before expecting them from without. In relationships, this self-anchored presence changes everything. You love not out of emptiness seeking to be filled, but from a fullness eager to share. You connect not to escape yourself, but to enhance the richness of who you already are. And that, perhaps, is the ultimate triumph adversity offers, the transformation from a fragmented being to a whole, integrated soul who knows how to walk alongside pain, yet remain open to love, to connection, and to life itself. So I ask you, how are you using your adversity? Are you letting it define you, or are you defining yourself through it? If this conversation stirred something in your heart, I want to hear from you. Share your story in the comments. Tell me what adversity taught you. Let's build a community of resilient souls, because together, we heal faster, we grow deeper, and we love better. And if this message resonated, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps this community grow stronger. Let me know what topics you'd like me to explore next. I'm here to walk with you through every storm, every scar, and every triumph. Let's continue this journey together.